It started out as gloomy and almost a forbidding kind of a day. If you were interested in practicing something outdoors, it's turned into quite a nice day. And this will wind up the 3 games at Shea Stadium, and we're off to Houston, back to the Astrodome, where Bob Ojeda will face either Bob Knepper or Jim DeShays in Game 6 tomorrow at 3 Eastern Time here on ABC. Bottom third of the order, Alan Ashby, Craig Reynolds, and then the pitcher spot. Alan Ashby has struck out looking, doubled, and scored Houston's run. Second baseman Backman. 1 out. Here's Bob Ojeda, who was a winner in game number 2, and he's doing the charting today.
One of the reasons Ojeda has been so effective this year is he has been thrown in with a lot of hard throwers. Ron Darling, Dwight Gooden, Sid Fernandez, and Ojeda the perfect complement for those types of pitchers.
Well, he scattered 10 hits the other night, but even though they had 10 hits, he was in absolute control of the ballgame. Reynolds swings and misses on a big jug curve, and Ryan has come out and swinging the bat. So unless Reynolds produces a scoring opportunity here for Houston, I would say Nolan will take his swings.
Yeah, even if Craig gets a single, I would imagine Hal Lanier will leave Ryan in to bunt him over. However, if he gets a double or a triple, it might be a pinch hitter for Ryan.
Yep. Kerfeld now has slowed down in the pen. Ryan ready to stay as Gooden goes again with that change curve and doesn't get it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Checks on it. 2 balls and a strike. So now Gooden trying to show Reynolds something a little different, and he falls behind 2-1.
Mookie Wilson very, very deep in left field. And we talked about the Mets and how deep their outfielders play. The opposite field, Craig Reynolds would have to hit a ball twice to get it to Wilson right now. Entirely too deep.
Gets around on the curveball, hits it to Hernandez. Gooden covers, and Reynolds is out.
Houston pitcher Nolan.
It is a little tricky hop, but a hop that to which Hernandez adjusts, because the hop took place far enough away from him to adjust. If that hop takes place with close proximity to a fielder, then it could be trouble, but not that one.
And with 2 out, bases empty, Nolan Ryan at the plate. High. Ball 1 to Ryan. Wasn't a bad cut on that high fastball.
Gooden, one of the few pitchers, however, that's easier to handle when his ball's down in the strike zone.
Another foul tip, and it's 1-2.
Players used to call swings like that ooh swings, because that's what you get from the crowd, that ooh, and you foul it back. Oohs and ahs.
Yogi in the Houston dugout. That still doesn't seem quite normal, does it? The Yogi in the Houston dugout.
Anytime you see Yogi away from the New York scene of baseball, it doesn't seem quite right. But a good friend of John McMullen, the owner of the Houston Astros, and John asked him to come down and help out this year, and he obliged, and glad he has.
Much foul right side.
Yogi was talking about his World Series mementos the other day. He said he not only has World Series rings, but he has a silver service, bracelets for his wife Carmen, and even a candelabra from the World Series. 21 of them.
If he makes it this year, he ties Crosetti, right? Frankie Crosetti. Maybe one back. That's right. Frankie has 23. Outside corner. Ball strike 3. So Gooden gets him in order. Houston has 7 hits. The Mets only 1, but it's a 1-1 tie.
Let's face it, I have a big...
7th inning of play in a 1-1 ball game in Game 5 of the National League Championship Series. Game 6, American League, coming up tonight from Fenway Park in Boston. Angels leading that one, what, 3-2? And the optimistic weather forecast now appears that they will be able to get the ball game played. Wally Backman, Keith Hernandez, and Gary Carter to face Nolan Ryan. Outside corner, that running fastball.
Look how close Glenn Davis is at first base and Denny Walling at third base. Glenn Davis assuring himself he will not be burned again with that bunt as he was in Game 3.
That was when Scott ran over Backman.
Of course, with 2 strikes now, Davis is back into his position. Backman has not tried a bunt with 2 strikes this year. However, Lynn Dykstra has tried to drag bunt with 2 strikes on 3 occasions this year.
One and 2 to Wally Backman. Struck out looking, and a fly ball to left field. He's hummed it up there 3 times in a row at 90 miles an hour. And that'll be 4 in a row as he strikes out Wally Backman for the 2nd time today.
And you could, excuse me, Keith, you could clearly see that Alan Ashby gave that sign, the 1 finger and in the circle, and the ball went away from Wally Backman. That is that unusual movement on that pitch that we've been talking about.
And that's strikeout number 10 for Ryan. No one has done it as many times as Nolan Ryan.
4,277 regular season games, or regular season strikeouts.
Tried the curve there and did not have it. Ball 1 to Keith Hernandez. Gary Carter is on deck. Darryl Strawberry's home run just barely fair.
That's the regular fastball away. But that ball stayed up on a regular plane. The one to Backman kind of tailed out of the strike zone. And that's when Ashby puts down 1 and puts his finger in a little circle.
It's pretty hard to be pitching a 1-hitter in the bottom of the 7th inning and be tied.
1 base runner in the ball game for the Mets.
Right.
That's the regular fastball away.
Well, now, it's regular in a sense.
Yeah. Well put. Regular old 92 mile an hour fastball.
That's hit to right on the nose. Bass will play it. And Hernandez is aboard with the Mets' 2nd hit of the ball game.
That fastball in the identical spot as Darryl Strawberry's home run, down and in. So the Mets have two hits today, one a home run. Both pitches were down and in.
And I won't be surprised by what the Houston pen starts stirring. Charlie Kerfeld is getting up one more time. Won't take him long because he's been up before. Gary Carter with one out, and Hernandez at first base with Strawberry to the on-deck circle. A 1-1 tie in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Carter falls down, rolls over, and fouls it off.
That ball off the front foot of Gary Carter. Gary writhing in pain, but he's had a lot of those. You kind of get punchy from those shots behind the plate.
He's pretty well wrapped up these days,
yeah,
too.
He's got taped both ankles, right knee that had arthroscopic surgery last October. He takes a pounding, but he keeps on ticking.
Just low.
A lot of times you can tell, even when a hitter takes a pitch, that he's struggling. And you could tell by the way Gary Carter took that pitch that he's really unsure of himself at the plate right now. Off balance.
Foul, past third. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Carter. Not smooth. He's jumping at it.
Yep.
If Ryan had a real true change, I mean, could really slow it up. Big rainbow. Gary might fall down.
Something on the outside part of the plate. He has come inside 3 times to Carter. I would imagine you'll see Ashby move away now. We'll see.
Hernandez on first with 1 out, and a 1-2 pitch to Carter.
Fastball away.
2-2. Almost got him to bite. Full count, 3-2.
The big difference at 2-2 count and 3-2 count, because now Hernandez will be running in all probability, thereby staying out of the double play unless the ball is really smoked to Reynolds or to Doran.
Ryan did not like that last call. He still got his cap in his hand, and he's walking around out on the mound. Not pleased. High towering, way up, pop-up, mile high. Reynolds, the shortstop. And 2 down.
And Keith, I can't believe Keith Hernandez was not running on that play. Regardless of how a hitter's going, I mean, Gary Carter is basically a contact hitter, but Keith Hernandez was not running.
Darryl Strawberry coming up. This his last time up. And watch the flight of the ball. It just curls around the foul pole for a home run to tie the game at 1-1. Now with 2 out, Strawberry stands in against Ryan. You think he'll see anything inside this time?
Well, that's where you have to pitch him, but not then.
Ran that fastball down and away. Swinging strike.
See that ball down and in. If you lift that same pitch up about 6 inches, that's where a pitcher really jams a left-handed hitter. And good low ball hitters are more easily jammable than a guy who hits the high fastball.
Ryan bobbing his head, talking to himself, fussing a little bit now. Kerfeld is up, but right now not throwing. He's a spectator. He's throwing easily once in a while to stay loose. He's all loaded up though. One ball, 2 strikes now to Strawberry. Well, he had 2 strikes on him a while ago when he hit the home run. Not bad credentials for a young player.
27 of those home runs this year.
High in the air, coming back out of play. There's that running fastball again.
The reason you can jam low ball hitters is it doesn't take as fast a bat to hit a low pitch as well as it does a high pitch. When you're trying to hit that high pitch, you have to be a lot quicker than you do when you hit the ball down in the strike zone.
One-two to Strawberry. That got a few oohs out of the crowd. It was close. But Joe West didn't give him the call, and that's the second time in this inning Nolan's been prowling around the mound. Mookie Wilson watching the goings on and from the on-deck circle. Foul ball, left side. Never did get everybody in the stadium today. There's quite a few empty seats about. But the decision to play the game, the rain stopped, bingo. Out comes president of the league, Chuck Feeney. He says, get the tarp off. They got it off. They scattered some of that dry stuff around, and we were playing within a half an hour, less than a half an hour. The weather's gotten better and better and better. Start the sequence again now after Strawberry stepped out. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out. Hernandez off first. And it's a full count.
Well, now Keith Hernandez will be running 3-2 and 2 out. And that's why it's so important not to get in that situation, because now Hernandez possibly can score on a short double or a long single. Glenn Davis will be playing behind Nolan Ryan.
The home run hit by Strawberry came on a 3-2 count. Again now showing some frustration on the mound as he walks Strawberry and Hernandez goes to second.
He may have hurt himself with that pitch, and that might be the reason he has been walking around the mound. Some strange signs out there. Of course, that elbow has given him problems all year, on the disabled list 2 times. Let's see if we can pick anything up with this pitch. Oh, yep, that elbow, you can see him writhe in pain. But it appears to be all right. Of course, we mentioned in the second game of this series the fact that Nolan Ryan will have to make a decision this year as to whether to undergo surgery or not, similar to the Tommy John operation.
Kerfeld waiting in the bullpen for the phone to ring. Mookie Wilson comes to the plate now with Hernandez at second and Strawberry at first. And Wilson has struck out twice today, swinging. 2 out. Mets in the bottom of the 7th inning in a 1-1 tie. Well, he's been out there a goodly part of the time now over the last 6 pitches. High pop to the left side for Jose Cruz, left fielder, and he makes the catch. And so the Mets threaten in the bottom of the 7th, but they are turned away, stranding 2. And after 7 complete innings, we are still even at 1-1.
Birth control?
A father caught in 2 worlds,
I'm 15 years old.
You're 15 years young.
trying to understand.
We move to the top of the 8th inning. Nolan Ryan, coming off the mound after that last inning, seemed to indicate some discomfort, but I don't know whether it was just frustration or not. But I think it's worth noting, Tim, that he has thrown 113 pitches in this ball game.
And in no time since June 2nd, when he went on the DL with that strained medial collateral in his right elbow, has he thrown over 100 pitches.
Dwight Gooden, on the other hand, as he faces the top of the order for Houston in the top of the 8th inning, has thrown only 88 pitches.
I'll tell you, Keith, as much as anything, I think this ball game and this series so far has shown how evenly matched both these ball clubs are.
Doran puts it on the ground. Past Gooden. First baseman Hernandez covering. Nobody at first. Gooden late getting there. Thought perhaps he had a chance to make the play on the ball and did not. And it's base hit, Bill Doran.
This is an absolutely perfect bunt. Doran bunts it hard enough. Gooden gets off the mound but can't get to it. Hernandez is made to field the ball and has no play.
And Billy Hatcher comes up.
Now Hernandez will go in and tell Gooden one of 3 things. He'll say, when I break, count 1001 and throw home. That'll give me a chance to get closer to the bunt. Or when I break and come back, throw over to first base 1 or 2 times. The 3rd thing is when I break, step off. And that prevents that runner from taking off the same time Hernandez does. We'll see which one is in effect right now.
Hatcher has had his conversation with Dennis Menke, a third base coach. Bill Doran now healthy after a severe groin pull. Good speed on first base.
And you saw Hernandez take 1 step in and then break back.
Knight coming in from third.
The 2nd time. That holds the runner at first base and prevents the runner from taking off with Hernandez, because if Hernandez breaks toward home, there's nobody to cover first base, and a good base runner will take off at the same time.
But popped back over the screen, foul, and Hatcher has to sit down, protecting himself from a fastball that ran in on him.
That's the old Casey Stengel theory in bunting situations. When a hitter squares around, throw the ball high and tight. I think Gooden did it inadvertently more than anything else. That was just a high fastball.
On deck hitter Denny Walling. Leadoff man Doran off first base. And chase back. Butts down. Rolling, 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 rolling. And Hernandez, letting it roll, suddenly grabbed it. I thought if he'd let it go, it probably was going to go foul, but he decided to heck with that. I got the runner and the ball here together, and let's combine the action, and he got him.
And you can't take that chance because it started to roll foul the first time. Doran off on the pitch. Now watch. Now it wanted to roll foul. Now it kicks, and now it's too late. Hernandez has to make a decision, and it appeared he made the right decision.
You know what? I think he hit the ball, too, with his foot.
Hatcher?
No, Hernandez.
Hernandez?
Like
could have. He did barehanded at the last minute, but that ball was going to go foul, then it kicked back fair. And then he made the right decision as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. One.
Yeah.
Denny Walling is up there with Doran on second base now, and one out. And the pitch is low inside, blocked by Carter. Walling singled back in the first inning. And in his next two appearances, hit fly balls to left field to Mookie Wilson.
The Mets are in a situation where they do not have to pitch to Denny Walling. First base is open. And what that means is you're really never in the hole. You can throw in breaking balls behind in the count, and if you miss with them, so what? Teresa Walling there.
Curveball, strike. Glenn Davis on deck. One out, one on. Base hit. No. Hung up. Throw it back to second base to get the double play. Everybody's running off the field. That was not the third out. The liner to left was only the second out, and finally somebody remembered to get the double play at second base.
This is the Noid. He loves to ruin your pizza.
And it looks like it might sink, but it doesn't. It stays up. Everybody's running off the field. Bill Doran, in the meantime, is way around third base. And now Mookie Wilson flips the ball into the shortstop at second base to complete the double play. And Doran hangs his hat and goes into the dugout.
Hangs his hat with his head in it.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, with Mookie Wilson catching that ball eye high, that wasn't a shoestring catch or anything like that. He caught that ball eye high, and that's the reason that it was a what could be a very big mistake for the Houston Astros.
For the simple reason that Glenn Davis is the next guy up at the plate.
That's right. And also, you can delay a little bit with Wilson in left field and still end up scoring with Doran's speed because Wilson's just coming off arthroscopic shoulder surgery and does not throw the ball well. At the very worst, you have runners at first and third and one out with Davis up.
Knight, Santana, and Gooden now for the Mets in the bottom of the eighth inning. A 1-1 tie. Houston with 8 hits, New York with only 2, and Roger McDowell is now up in the New York bullpen. Kevin Bass drifting back in right field makes the catch. One down. There's Nancy. Frustrated a bit over her husband's fly ball to right in a tie ball game. And here's Rafael Santana coming up now. Hitless in 2 trips today. Nolan Ryan still out there. Kerfeld and Calhoun up in the pen for Houston. Fouled back off the hands. Out of play. Right-hander's Kerfeld. Calhoun is the left-hander. He would be a situation pitcher under this circumstance, perhaps one man. One strike on Santana. Dwight Gooden, touch for 8 hits, but he's still even. Loading up the bat. McDowell might get a call here for his second appearance in the championship series. He came in after Fernandez, and Santana swings at a pitch that was up too high, and he knew it. So he kind of cock his head and walk away. That's 11 strikeouts in the ball game for Nolan Ryan. And 2 down. Round of applause for Dwight Gooden as he comes up now with 2 out.
I never will forget a remark by Johnny Keane, the manager of the Cardinals, after the '64 series when Bob Gibson threw over 150 pitches and beat the Yankees 7-5.
Well,
Bob went out after Phil Lentz and Clete Boyer hit home runs, and he asked Bob, he said, "How do you feel?" And he said, "I'm fine." And so Johnny went out, and Bobby Richardson popped up to Dal Maxville, and the Cardinals won the series. And after the game, Johnny Keane said, "I had a commitment to his heart." And I think Hal Lanier has a commitment to Nolan Ryan's heart in this ball game.
That's a high pop to the right side. Second baseman Bill Doran has the beat on it, and the side is retired. So Ryan gets the Mets in order in the bottom of the 8th inning. We're all even. 1-1, headed for 9.
I don't know. What are you going to do?
I don't know.
I'd go to college.
Me too.
A low-scoring ball game, and we're even at 1 going to the 9th inning.
Good suggestion, huh?
Now, we got power against power. We've got Gooden, who is settled down and is pitching a very strong game, even though he's given up 8 runs. But now he faces Glenn Davis in the top of the 9th inning.
Well, Glenn Davis, as we said, his first 2 times up in this ball game, he was locked in. And in my opinion, the most lethal hitter on either ball club right now. So we'll see what happens.
Top of the 9th inning. 1-1 tie in Game 5 of the National League Championship Series, with the series even at 2-2, and the 2 teams headed for Houston and the Astrodome right after this one is complete. And again, the weather looks pretty good in Boston when we last heard, and it looks like they'll be able to get Game 6 in at Fenway Park tonight between the Angels and the Red Sox. Al Michaels and Jim Palmer up there, along with Chuck Howard, Chet Forty, and all of our folks, having made the transcontinental trip yesterday. Davis, Bass, and Cruz against Gooden. Starts him with a curveball and misses. Ball 1. I don't think Dwight right here wants to get into a power contest unless he has to.
Nope. He has already thrown around 100 pitches.
Jammed him a little bit with a running fastball, and Davis fouls it back out of play.
Mookie Wilson in left field having all types of trouble with that sun, even holding his hand up. As you can see, the shadows now make it doubly tough to hit. And also the sun in the outfield making it doubly tough to catch fly balls.
Darryl Strawberry has called time and is walking in from right field. And the center fielder Dykstra is coming in as well, and I think it may be that Dykstra, as much as anybody, wants sunglasses. So I think Dykstra was trying to get somebody's attention out in center field to call time to get his glasses, and he couldn't get anybody's attention, and finally Strawberry helped him out.
I think one point that we touched on earlier has really come into play. In rain conditions, the players hang around the clubhouse. They're really not sure they're going to play, and by the time they get into the ball game, they've gone 2 at bats and really don't know how they made the 2 outs. You don't really mentally prepare yourself like you would if you know the game is going to be played. I think that's one of the reasons for the low scoring in this game. The other two reasons, Dwight Gooden and Nolan Ryan.
Yeah. 1-1 the count on Glenn Davis. Did not get all of it. Broke his bat, and the shortstop Santana makes the catch for out number 1. And Dwight breathes a bit of a sigh. Now it's Kevin Bass. Dave Smith is now up in the Houston pen. Smith was tagged by Dykstra for the winning home run, 2-runner, in Game 3 here at Shea Stadium. A game in which Houston had a 4-0 lead going into the 6th inning. Pitch is inside to Bass for ball 1. Kevin has 2 singles in today's game. He's hit Dwight pretty well all year.
He had a home run against him July 4th.
Second baseman Backman handles it. 2 down. And now Jose Cruz to face Gooden. Mets will have the top of the order in the bottom of the 9th.
Jose Cruz, one of the few left-handers around who's a good high ball hitter.
Little outside.
And Gooden, his most effective fastball is the fastball upstairs.
Ball 2. McDowell loosened up some an inning ago and has retired. And the pen is quiet on the Mets side. Smith and Kerfeld stay up in the Houston bullpen on the left side. Jose sort of bobs his head and says that was one I should have jumped at. But he didn't, and it's 2-1. A pretty good pitch.
Yeah, it was on the outside part.
3-1.
In order to pull a ball effectively, generally speaking, hitters like the ball on the inside half. That's the ball you really hammer. Your 2-0 and 3-1 situations where you want to really be selective. If the ball's right in that little zone, that's your power zone, go to hacking.
To left for Wilson. Gets a break here because the sun behind the cloud and makes the catch to retire the side. So to the bottom of the 9th inning, a 1-1 tie. Back after this commercial message and a word from your local station.
On our next show, the amazing Kreskin.
Stay with it. Keep your hands. Move your. Don't stop. Keep your hands. Don't.
Gee, I wonder if he's going to do that.
I hope so. We'll also have a very fun and safe aerobic workout for you.
And a visit from Laura Solomon.
5-4 Houston when Lynn Dykstra came to the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning against Dave Smith. And he hit it out of here. And the Mets won 6-5. Well, he's facing Nolan Ryan today, who's thrown 120 pitches, leading off the bottom of the 9th inning in a 1-1 tie. And the pitch is inside for ball 1. Smith and Kerfeld up and throwing and ready in the Houston bullpen. So Ryan chased him off the plate with that first pitch inside and low. And comes outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. I'll tell you, Terry just about jumped out of the ballpark the other day when he hit that home run, and looks like she's wound up again today. 2-1.
And they've taken the bunt away from Dykstra. Glenn Davis and Denny Walling on the corners. So it's not a good idea for Dykstra to try to bunt it here.
Strike 2. 2-2. He is struck out looking, struck out swinging, and popped out to the third baseman, and Hal Lanier talking to his defense.
He wants Glenn Davis to play closer to the line, not on the line, just closer.
Walling backing up at third now is off the grass and even with the bag. Two-two pitch. Hit, little soft fly ball to right. Bass coming on and makes the catch. 1 down. Wally Backman struck out twice today, hitless in 3 trips. Again, the threat of the bunt here with Backman. So the corner people move in. Davis at first, Walling at third. And the pitch is high and away.
Very calm Met dugout.
One and one. One and two, and Ryan is under 90 now. He's gone 88, 89, but that time on the swinging strike he moved it back up to 92. Wow. Keith Hernandez. Dykstra led. Fly ball to right. Bottom of the ninth inning, a 1-1 tie in Game 5 of the National League Championship Series. And from here they head for Houston to play tomorrow afternoon at 3 Eastern Time in the Astrodome. Swing and a foul tip held by Ashby, and that's strikeout number 12 for Nolan Ryan.
The Ryan Express continues to blow people away, and he just blows Wally Backman away.
That's pitch number 130. Now Hernandez with 2 down. Carter to the on-deck circle. Ball 1.
Really admire Hal Lanier. For the first 2 hitters, Len Dykstra and Wally Backman, he was not playing his defense on the line, but now down at first base, Glenn Davis is on the line with Keith Hernandez, a guy who is much more of a pull hitter than Dykstra or Backman. Lanier not following the traditional line of managers by just putting guys on the line with no reason whatsoever.
2 balls and no strikes to Hernandez. Ruth's watched a lot of them, hasn't she?
Certainly has, but she's never watched a World Series game where Nolan Ryan has participated.
There's a strike, 2-1. Well, you go back to that second inning, don't you? And you start recounting it. Pitch is high and away. It's 3 balls and a strike to Keith Hernandez. Ryan was in relief in that 6-9.
Yep, that's right.
We're not sure the Ruth was there.
Yeah. No, we're not, but that was the only World Series that he participated, but that was before he was established as a star in the major leagues.
Ball is hit high in the air and will stay in the park. A lot of room for Kevin Bass as he angles over to the line and makes the catch for the 3rd out. So Nolan Ryan, headed toward 140 pitches in the ball game, goes 9 innings. He's allowed 1 run and only 2 hits and struck out 12.
Announcing the Valvoline 4-Guard I Love a Parade sweepstakes. Win a trip for 4 to 4 of a...
Nolan Ryan in the Houston dugout, and you have to have the feeling that he's gone after pitching 9 innings. He threw 135 pitches, allowed 2 hits, one of them a home run by Darryl Strawberry. And he sits there now, puzzling over things, hoping his club can come up with something here in the top of the 10th inning against Dwight Gooden.
Certainly has thrown his last pitch of the 1986 season, more than likely. And maybe his career if he opts for surgery this winter. One never knows.
Unless, of course, they win this series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Ashby hits it sharply at Backman, the second baseman, and he throws him out. Backman's been busy today.
I believe this is the first time that Dwight Gooden has ever gone past the 9th inning.
All right, we're watching to see who comes out for Ryan's spot, and it's Terry Poole. Terry Poole comes out carrying a bat.
This, to my knowledge, now we're not sure on this, but to my knowledge, it's the first time that Dwight Gooden has ever recorded an out in the 10th inning. He has never pitched past the 9th inning in his career.
So he gets Ashby to bounce out to the second baseman, and here is Craig Reynolds, the shortstop, who's hit into a double play and singled in 3 trips. And it's a strike to him. Nobody in the Mets pen. I don't know if it'll be Kerfeld or if it'll be Smith coming out of the Houston pen.
Al Lanier said that if he had that situation of Game 3 with the Astros leading in the 9th, that he would do the same thing and bring in Dave Smith. We'll see.
Coach, he likes Smith protecting.
Yeah, that's right. Tie ball game, he likes Kerfeld. A lead, he likes Smith.
Dandy curveball. Strike 2 on Craig Reynolds. To the right side, one-handed by Backman. He has 2 putouts in this inning.
Attention, please. For the Astros, batting for pitcher Nolan Ryan, number 21, Terry Poole.
Backman's had the ball on his side 8 times today.
Major league record in a 9-inning ball game. Of course, we're in the 10th now, but the major league record is 12, held by many second basemen, 12 assists.
Terry Poole now steps in. The Canadian who lost his job literally to Kevin Bass. He was injured. Bass came in and played very, very well, and Terry was never able to move him out. But he's a tough guy coming off the bench. 2 out, nobody on in the top of the 10th inning. Gooden's curve now is wicked.
He does have a tendency to get stronger as he goes along, but he's never gone along this long. Terry Poole, as you saw, 1 for 1, 10 for 19 in the 1980 series.
That curveball was up in his eyes, and he leveled at it but fouled it away. A 1-1 tie in the top of the 10th inning. Over the pitching mound, out toward center field, flagged by Santana, stopped by Backman, Poole's aboard, base hit.
And stepping up, second baseman, Bill Doran.
Santana gets to it, might have had a play.
Maybe. But Santana is too far toward third. Of course, you can't be everywhere.
No. Bill Doran. He's the top of the order now with 2 out and the Poole at first base.
Terry Poole has been bothered with a chronic hamstring problem throughout the 1986 season. But it appears to be well now, and when it's well, he runs well.
Bob Nepper and Bob Ojeda scheduled for Game 6 in the Dome tomorrow afternoon at 3 Eastern Time. They're left-handers. Just high. Poole edges off first. Sun now has gone back behind the clouds, but you can see more sky right now than we've seen in 2 days. It's like the storm has passed New York by now. Who goes? Throw by Carter. Ball is backed up by Backman and saves the base. Well, I must say that Dykstra was on the dead run coming in to back up also, and it might have been hazardous for Poole to risk a run at third if it gotten through.
Yeah, his primary aim is just second base. That puts him in scoring position. Terry Poole, with only 3 stolen bases all year, steals a very big base here in the playoffs. Had the throw been there, he would have been out, but the throw one-hop Santana, and Backman is backing up.
And it's a 1-1 count on Bill Doran. Just up 2-1. Some of the folks that didn't get in today. Some of the folks who did get in without a seat, but there's plenty of empty seats. I'd have been trying to make a deal with somebody so I could sit down if I had an SRO ticket. It is 3 balls and 1 strike to Bill Doran. And now Dwight Gooden's got to do some pitching.
Well, and you got to figure out, would you rather pitch to Doran, a 276 hitter, or Billy Hatcher? Billy Hatcher, a right-handed batter, and I don't think they're going to give in to Bill Doran in this situation. You might see another curveball.
Not with first base open. He's on.
Some walks are good walks. Other walks are bad walks. That was a good walk if you're playing the percentages. Because I think with the go-ahead run at second base, you would much rather face Billy Hatcher than Bill Doran, especially if you're a right-handed pitcher.
All right, Billy had a single back in the 3rd inning off Gooden. Who is the lead runner at second base? Doran on first with 2 out. Foul back. It is a relatively self-defining circumstance. You've got 2 out in the top of the 10th inning in a 1-1 ball game, and a series is tied 2-2. You got 2 runners on, and basically it's Dwight Gooden against Billy Hatcher. 1 strike on Hatcher. Billy clutches at his bat. That was a pitch he thought he could and should have handled.
If he does hit the ball the other way, that is not his power field. Darryl Strawberry too deep in right field. He's the opposite fielder with Billy Hatcher hitting.
Two-strike pitch. Ball is hit to right. Down the line. Strawberry on the move. Makes the catch. The Houston Astros strand 2 in the top of the 10th inning in a 1-1 tie. And back after this word from your local station.
I'm David Hartman. Weekday mornings, we talk with the people you want to hear from, movie stars, TV celebrities, sports greats, and music superstars. Join us weekdays for Good Morning America.
Mrs. Darnay's kidney bean chili takes the longest of time. A can of kidney beans, a little of this.
Mrs. Carton takes a fast, easy way to chili because Brooks Chili Hot Beans already have a nicely spiced sauce. She browns ground beef, adds Brooks, then her special touches. Voila, it's chili.
And it's a far, far better chili than I've ever done.
Brooks Chili Hot Beans for great chili fast as the dickens.
At last, an ultra-lightweight cream that firms like a heavyweight. Estee Lauder's skin-perfecting cream with Firmex. Scientific tests show it can make your skin measurably more elastic, measurably firmer, measurably smoother in just 2 weeks. And it's so lightweight, you'll hardly feel it on.
Until you see how perfectly it works.
Estee Lauder's skin-perfecting cream, now at Lazarus.
WKRC-TV, Cincinnati.
anything that has the suggestion of rally around it is now being extricated from whatever it's been in, including the Mets version of the rally cap. Charlie Kerfeld is on in relief of Nolan Ryan. He pitched in Game 2, got a double play. He came in Game 3 and got 6 in a row. What did he get? 3 in a row. So he's done his job each time he's been in the ball game. And now he's pitching to Gary Carter, Darryl Strawberry, and Mookie Wilson. A 1-1 tie at the bottom of the 10th inning at Shea Stadium in New York.
The one thing about Kerfeld, he can get very wild if the Mets allow him to. Mets, however, on the other hand, a free-swinging ball club.
Gary Carter's parent, his father, and his wife. And a dead bat in his hand. That's a hard shot at third base. Denny Walling handles it well and throws him out. Good play by Walling, guarding the line.
That's right. And with a guy like Carter, you have to respect his ability to pull the ball, and that's why Hal Lanier had Walling on the line. In the early innings, this would have been a double, and nothing is going right for Gary Carter in this series.
Darryl Strawberry inside. That one was a home run. Count is now 1-1. Strawberry hit it on a 3-2 count in the bottom of the 5th inning. Dwight Gooden having been successful in the top of the 10th inning. Orozco is up to the bullpen for the Mets, and power against power there, and Kerfeld won it, and it's 2-2. Jesse Orozco, who has won one and has made 2 appearances. This would be his 3rd if he is summoned in. Kerfeld just wailing away out on the mound, strikes out Strawberry.
Well, you saw Nolan Ryan blow Mets away today. The Mets have had only 3 base runners all afternoon and are very fortunate to be tied at 1 here in the 10th inning. That ball, he just blew Strawberry away.
Davey Johnson now starting to pace some. Most of the day he's been perched over there in that one corner in one spot. Not now. Mookie Wilson inside corner, called strike. You get a stiff neck wearing that? Foul ball, strike 2.
That's the first slider that Kerfeld has thrown, and usually Alan Ashby will work him to the point where he will not throw a breaking ball unless he's ahead in the count. So you may see another one here.
He's popping it, isn't he?
He certainly is.
Fouled away left side. Carson sitting Nevada. Struck out 2, and he comes bounding off the mound, having retired 3 in a row, and we are headed for the 11th inning in a 1-1 tie.
There are lots of furnaces you can choose for your home, but for the most efficient energy.
But he got the win. He was the winner the other day when Lenny Dykstra hit his home run to win it in the bottom of the 9th inning. Danny Heap is now in left field for the Mets, replacing Mookie Wilson. Why would they make that change?
Well, Danny Heap will bat 9th in the bottom of the 11th inning, and Jesse Orozco will be batting 6th. Orozco batting 6th, and Danny Heap will be the 3rd hitter in the bottom of the 11th inning. That's a modification of a double switch.
Right.
You don't make it when you're on defense. You make it when you're, well, yeah, I guess it was made when you're on defense. But not during the middle of an inning. It's made at the beginning of an inning. Surrounded that point, didn't I?
Yeah. A little Strauss will hurt you. All right, Denny Walling, Glenn Davis, and Kevin Bass are coming up here in the top of the 11th inning. And coming up tonight at 8 Eastern Time, Game 6 of the American League Championship Series.
Al Lanier usually pinch hits Phil Garner against a left-handed pitcher in a spot like this, but not here. Interesting.
Foul back. The story of the Mets relief pitchers in this series. Curveball from Orozco, and it's fouled away, and yes, he has the edge against Walling. 2 strikes. Went fishing and struck out.
Jesse Orozco, if he has that good breaking ball going for him, he can be as tough against left-handed hitters as anybody, and Denny Walling goes too far.
Now, Glenn Davis. We are in the top of the 11th inning. If you're just getting home in time to have a look at it, it's 1-1 between the Mets and the Astros. The series now moving back to Houston as of tomorrow afternoon, 3 Eastern Time. And, of course, tonight here on ABC, the American League Championship Series out of Fenway Park in Boston between the Angels and the Red Sox. Angels leading that one 3-2. Davis missing the curve, and it's 1-1.
And we just saw a version of the Houston Astro rally caps. Different teams, different rally caps. It's still 1-1.
Well, that one looked like it was right down the heart of the plate.
Well, that's what that breaking ball will do to hitters. It'll make them tentative on the pitches that technically is their strength. Curveball, fastball, curveball, looking gone. That was that backdoor curveball, breaking ball on the outer part of the plate. Right down Westheimer.
I guess I should explain that. We were down in Houston, and one of the writers suggested that Tim might be a little biased by referring to a pitch as being right down Broadway in the opening game, so we just wanted to make sure that Houston got just due. 1 strike on Kevin Bass, who turns around against the left-hander, hits right-handed, and has more power from this side, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Oh, look at that thing snapping there. 1-2 to Bass. Throws him out, and he too does his job. He strikes out 2, as did Kerfell, gets him in order, and we're headed for the bottom of the 11th inning in a 1-1 tie. 1-9-0 for Houston and 1-2-0 for the Mets. Houston is left 7 on base.
When me and my buddies head off to West Texas, nothing works like my Chevy S10 Maxi Cab 4x4.
Yet another version of the rally caps. those dugouts, you know, you can't do anything. The team that's out on the field, it's up to them. And I'll tell you, in the dugout, it's tougher to watch these games than it is to play in them. And you've seen how tough it is the last 2 innings with the pictures of the rally caps.
Charlie Kerfeld, 6'6", about 235 or so pounds. Stomping up and down. And ready to pitch now to Ray Knight, pinch hitter Lee Mazzilli, and then Danny Heap. It'll be Heap's first time up as well. Starts him with a strike. They've handled Ray today. 0 for 3. Outside corner.
Kind of get the feeling in this game that nobody's ever going to get another hit.
You do, another night in New York.
No contest, yeah.
Finish it after breakfast.
Game called on account of pitchers too tired.
Foul ball left side. Well, the starters, Ryan went 9, allowed 2 hits and 1 run. Gooden went 10 and allowed 1 run. Fifth inning had all of the action today. Over the middle and flagged down by Doran. Throws and gets in. Pretty good arm shown there by Doran.
He is just a fine all-around ball player. Watch how he plants. Of course, Ray Knight is not going to get too many infield hits. Ray is not a fast runner. Watch how Doran plants so he can get something on the ball. Fine play by Doran.
Lee Mazzilli now will hit for Santana. At a pinch hit single in the series. Kerfeld has retired 4 in a row since he came on in relief of Ryan. And the fastball is a little low. Inside corner for a called strike. Breaking pitch misses. 2 balls and a strike to Mazzilli. Danny Heap is on deck, and then you'll have the top of the order. Smith stays loose in the Houston bullpen. 2-2 on the foul back to the screen. Had to be low.
That's one thing about Lee Mazzilli. He will make you throw strikes. His value increases as a pinch hitter.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Hit on the ground to Davis at first base. He'll do it himself. 2 down.
Number 25, left fielder, Danny Heap.
If you were the first baseman, this is how you would have fielded it, I'm sure. Glenn Davis has really worked hard on his defense and is a much improved first baseman.
Former Astro Danny Heap at the plate. And Kerfeld, fastball strike. Change, drifts outside. Guarding the lines. As Dykstra swings a bat in the on-deck circle. 2 out. In the bottom of the 11th inning. That ball is hit sharply, but it's going to be foul into the crowd down the left side. Danny Heap, one of those Astros involved in that dramatic 1980 series against the Philadelphia Phillies. Now he's a Met, and this series is becoming just as dramatic as the 1980.
He came to the Mets for Mike Scott back in 1982.
Called him out. So Kerfeld has now struck out 3, retired 6 in a row, and we are headed for the top of the 12th inning in a 1-1 tie. As you see, the strikeout pitch by Kerfeld. Thing took a pretty good dip too, didn't it?
Yeah, Danny tried to hold up on the slider in the dirt, but he just couldn't hold up. He went too far.
Welcome to the Silver Bullet, home of a cold Coors Light.
Jimbo, yo, where's Nadine tonight?
They're probably sitting by the phone.
Result of Mazzilli pinch hitting. This is the 3rd time in championship series play that we are going to a 12th inning. One in the National and one in the American. Cincinnati, New York, back in 1973 was a 12-inning affair. Excuse me, Tim, go ahead.
Keith. As a matter of fact, before this 3-game set here in New York, that was the only game that the Mets had ever lost here in championship play. They lost 2-1 to the Reds in that 12-inning game.
Jose Cruz, Alan Ashby, and we'll see about Craig Reynolds. As Orozco starts him with a pitch that sails outside for ball 1. Jesse got him in order, striking out the first 2 he faced in the top of the 11th inning. That's a strike. High pop left side, may have a play on it. Knight goes back. Elster's there. Knight. We had that situation a little closer to the rail the other day, and Knight was called off of it. But I think the way Ray went back that time, he'd have taken an elephant to run him off the ball. He was going to get it. Now Ashby hitting right-handed. And Orozco's retired the first 4 he's faced.
It has been pointed out to us that the way the Reds won that game back in 1973, that 2-1 12-inning game, a Pete Rose home run in the 12th inning off Harry Parker.
Breaking pitch, and Ashby misses. Dickie Thon has now come out for Reynolds. Thon had a home run himself solo the other day when 3-1 win in game number 4. McDowell is back up in the New York bullpen. Roger McDowell. That's 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's Roger, made 1 appearance so far. High right side foul. Two pitch, bounce to the shortstop. Third baseman comes over, cuts it off. Good play, Knight. High throw, but Hernandez handles it. Don't know if Elster would have gotten him.
Elster was too deep. What's always amazed me is quickness at third base does not necessarily indicate speed. We said Ray Knight does not run well, but he's quick. Brooks Robinson the same way. The quickest guy, 2 steps, 2.5, 3 steps, but he couldn't run real fast.
Now Dickie Thon steps in. That one hit was a home run into the Houston bullpen in left field. Davey Lopes has come out to the on-deck circle now and will hit for the pitcher Kerfeld. That means Smith will be next for Houston. Dave Smith. He was the man shocked by Dykstra. The 2-run home run that won here on Saturday. But he had 33 saves during the regular season. And the man leading off the 12th to face Dave Smith, Lenny Dykstra. 2-1.
Bond thought that ball was inside. It was a breaking ball on the 2-1 count. Pitchers on both sides have had the hitters completely throttled all afternoon.
Jesse begging it a little bit as he came bouncing off the mound, but no call on it. So now it's 3-2.
Orozco trying to go in the back door again, and that ball appeared to go around the plate.
Fly ball to center field for Dykstra. That retired. Orozco has retired 6 in a row. And here we go to the bottom of the 12th. A 1-1 tie.
Americans desperate to adopt are buying Mexican babies. It's a booming black market business that authorities say is hard to stop. Watch ABC's World News tonight.
How many of these rally gigs do they have? Well, Davey Lopes was in the on-deck circle to hit for the pitcher's spot, but pitcher's spot never got up as Thon hit a fly ball to center field. That means Charlie Kerfeld is back out on the mound, and it's Charlie who will be facing Dykstra, Bachman, Hernandez. And that's Terry Dykstra. Is he going to bend those fingers? She's got him crossed so hard. They've handled Lynn so far today. And Kerfeld comes right at him with the hot stuff. Ball, strike 1.
As a matter of fact, Dykstra and Davis, the only 2 players on either team that had, prior to this game, hit in all 4 games. Neither has had a hit in this game.
Runs up on it. Slider is down low. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. On Dykstra and Bachman, those 2 people at the corner have got to play on the grass. That makes it 2-1.
Dykstra thought the ball was outside. 13 Mets have gone down in a row. They have not had a base runner since the 7th inning, and only 3 in the ball game. Dykstra thought the ball was either low or outside. But the umpire does not necessarily need agreement for him to call it a strike.
Different union.
Yeah.
Right at Davis. 1 out. Sharp shot bouncing 1 time.
Second baseman, Wally Bachman.
Now Wally Bachman. Well, those who braved the elements and came and stayed seen a dandy ball game, haven't they?
I'll say.
Pitching has just been utterly dominant. Strike one. Strike two. Keith Hernandez, third hitter. Kerfell working quickly. As soon as that batter's in the box, he's pumping. 1-2.
Gosh, you know, for the last 3 years, Charlie Kerfell has been in the instructional league at this time of year. And he was talking about, he said, I was hoping to go back this year for the 4th time and get my Letterman's jacket.
He'll get a Letterman's jacket. And he really wants if he keeps working like this.
That's right.
He had a picture the other day of the Bird up in Boston watching the California-Boston game, Mark Bittridge. But the people who adorn Charlie Kerfell's locker, foul ball, left side, are the Bird, Bittridge, the Boz, Brian Bosworth, the linebacker from Oklahoma, and Jim McMahon. And he also has McMahon's latest poster, including autograph, and practices outrageously up and down the halls of the clubhouse. Whoa, it's off the third baseman. Shortstop Bond picks it up, and Beckman is aboard. A bullet that handcuffed Denny Walling. Ricocheted to Dickie Fahn, but with Beckman's foot speed, he's on.
Only the 3rd hit of the ball game, and I assume it will be a base hit. Walling on the line because of Beckman's propensity to hit the ball down the 3rd base line. He was properly positioned, but the short hop just ate him up. It has not been scored yet. I assume it'll be a base hit. We'll see.
It was a rip.
Hit the ball very, very hard.
Hernandez now with Beckman at first base. The potential winning run is aboard. And we're at the bottom of the 12th inning. To Hernandez. We're still waiting for the call from the official scorer. It is a base hit. Sort of figured it would be because it's almost unfair not to call it a base hit. The rocket. There's a strike. Keith Hernandez's habits at the plate force a pitcher to slow down a little bit.
He'll back out of there if the pitcher's working too fast with him. And Kerfell loves to work fast.
One out. Beckman at first. The ball gets away from Davis on the throw over there, and Wally Beckman turns at second base.
There's no way they're going to pitch to Hernandez now. You're not going to let Hernandez beat you. This overthrow, an error, and a very costly error on Charlie Kerfell. Davis cannot come up with it. So I'm sure they'll walk Hernandez in this situation. With Carter having such a disastrous offensive series so far, they're going to leave it up to Carter, I'm sure.
And Gary Carter, who is hitless in 4 trips today, he has 1 base hit in 21 trips to the plate in the series. will come to the plate just as soon as they finish the formality of walking Keith Hernandez. Winning run is now at second base. Carter's only hit was a double back in game 2. The pen is quiet. It's up to Kerfeld. That's ball 1.
Because of the strength of Gary Carter, the outfielders are forced to play him deep. Therefore, any base hit to the outfield, regardless of how hard it's hit, I doubt that there'll be a play on Backman at home plate.
Way up. And Kerfeld now has lost some of his bravado on the mound. I think he tried to aim that ball. It just looked like an aim.
On your cue of losing bravado, here comes Les Moss. You're exactly right, too, Keith. But no one warming up in the Astro bullpen. It's up to Charlie Kerfeld.
The count, 2 balls and no strikes with 1 out to Gary Carter. The winning run at second base. Keith Hernandez at first base. And he almost hit him with that pitch. Carter, of course, hanging in. He's not going to give up anything, including taking a nip if necessary.
Hey, we saw Jeff Calhoun up earlier with Strawberry on deck. I'm surprised that Houston doesn't have a left-handed pitcher up in the bullpen.
There's a strike. And that's the easiest pitch Kerfeld has thrown since Carter came to the plate, and now Smith is up in the Houston bullpen. If he walks Carter, it's possible you could see Smith. Foul back. Maybe Charlie was just looking for a little extra drama here. He's now going to 3-2. Buckman earned his way aboard with a bullet off the third baseman Walling, ricocheting to the shortstop. But no play at first on Walling. And he moved over to second on Kerfeld's throwing error, trying to hold him close, and he misfired to Glenn Davis. High pop coming back out of play. And Gary Carter is still there.
Notice also the runners were not running. Similar situation about 4 innings ago when Keith Hernandez was at first base on a 3-2 count and 1 out, and Hernandez wasn't running.
Runners going. Carter fouls it back right here. Just missed it.
Kind of interesting that Davy Johnson would all of a sudden send the runners when he hasn't done it previously. But of course, a lot of that may depend on Carter seeing a lot of fastballs. The chances of Carter seeing a lot of fastballs, the opportunity of him getting the good part of the bat on the ball, with more that he fouls back, the more he's seen.
Bottom of the 12th inning. 1 out. 1-1 tie. Charlie Kerfeld and Gary Carter dueling here. Up the middle, base hit. Backman turns third. Hatcher's throw, no play. Easy for Backman. Carter wins it with his second hit of the series, and the Mets win the ball game in 12, 2-1. knees off Gary's back. He delivers a sharp single up the middle to score. Backman from second base. The throw from Hatcher was nowhere near in time. He just had no chance on Backman. But remember, it was Kerfeld's throwing error to the first baseman Davis that moved Backman over to second base. Then they walked Hernandez intentionally. Of course, Hernandez was not a factor. So I guess what I'm leading up to, the point I'm about to say, is Charlie Kerfeld has only himself to blame, because Backman earned his way aboard with the base hit, but then Kerfeld helped him along with a throwing error.
And the outfield too deep to make a play on Wally Backman. If it got through, Backman scores, and he scores easily. What a ball game.
I don't know, in this particular circumstance, perhaps you know full well you can't play him that deep with Backman's foot speed at second base. Maybe you just got to come on in and take your chance.
Well, you got to protect yourself against Carter's power. The big guys you play deep, the little guys you play shallow, and Wally Backman, the little guy, scores the winning run.
So those who came to Shea are rewarded by a 12-inning ball game before we finally have the issue resolved. And the New York Mets win it by a score of 2-1, with Orozco getting his second win in the series, and Charlie Kerfeld takes the loss. And now the two teams load up and head for Houston tonight for Game 6 tomorrow afternoon at 3 Eastern Time, with the New York Mets leading in the series 3-2. This ABC Sports exclusive brought to you by the heartbeat of America, to Dave Chevrolet, and by Coors and Coors Light, beers with a difference worth tasting. The final score, the Mets 2, the Astros 1. The American League Champion Series heats up tonight at Fenway Park in Boston, when the California Angels face the Boston Red Sox in Game 6. Action begins live at 8 Eastern Time on ABC Sports. Today's game produced by Peter Lasser, directed by Craig Janoff. Our technical director, John Fader, and Rich Gelber, and our associate director, Dick Buffington. Later on ABC World News tonight, Americans desperate to adopt are buying Mexican babies. It is a booming black market business that authorities say is hard to stop. On ABC's World News tonight with Peter Jennings. Travel arrangements made through and promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. Nobody knows Hawaii like United. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. And a brief word now with the man of the moment, Gary Carter. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Keith.
Got to feel pretty good after having such a dead bat, huh?
Oh, my gosh, absolutely. I finally found a hole there, and I was wondering when it was ever going to come. But this ball club, I am so proud to be a part of it, because it's been all them. They're the ones who have been carrying it up to that point. Fortunately, and I thank the good Lord, I know he was with me on that particular at-bat, and he came through for me.
Well, Gary, you're going now back to the Astrodome to play the next game and perhaps the next two if necessary. How do you think the club feels now after suffering through the off day and all of the bad weather and everything?
Well, we got to feel really pumped up about being able to fortunately come back and play the game with the weather and all, and then be able to win today's game. It's going to be a sweeter ride down to Houston, but we got our work cut out for it. This Houston ball club just does not give up, and I'll tell you, we got our hands full, but it's a nice feeling to at least be at an advantage right now at 3-2.
Congratulations on your winning hit, and good luck to you, Gary.
Thanks a lot, Keith.
Thank you. Gary Carter, who delivered the winning run from second base with a shot up the middle. Remember tonight, 8 Eastern Time here on ABC. Game number 6 of the American League Championship Series between the California Angels and Boston Red Sox.
If you don't know how to read